Thank you, Monica. Hello. Yeah, ready. So it's been a great year to Liferay. We have released many products recently. E-commerce is the first one of them that is beautiful, elegant, and solve many problems that our clients are trying to solve. Second, Analytics Cloud. This is very interesting to know our clients' trajectory into the portal and to understand how they behave, and then we get better with data. And finally, DXP, the Digital Experience Platform, which is the best platform ever created for digital transformation. And we were trying to solve a problem, which is how can we connect all these products? How can we help you as a customer to be faster, to be more productive, to reach your business deliverables and reach your customer expectations? It's not easy to make your customers happy. And when you make the customer happy, then you have another challenge now. How you build a sustainable competitive advantage. How you keep it up with the competition. We are competing with big pockets, big companies. They have unlimited resources. And how do you, as a small company, can be able to compete with that? Then, after you are able to kind of compete, what is the continuous innovation path you have? How do you set your strategy to be continuing innovating as a company? And finally, digital transformation. Digital transformation is not only a product that you buy, you install, and you are good. It's a process. You have to relearn how you do process. You have to observe your company. You have to think what I'm doing wrong, what I'm not automating, what is not digitalized here, and try to make this into your digital transformation product. So all these things together leveraged us to build DXP Cloud. So DXP Cloud is basically our last missing piece into the product stack in order to make you productive, in order to make you focus in what matters. Before going into the product, I would like to talk about 3 pillars that made us to create DXP Cloud. The first pillar is cloud. Cloud is everywhere. Cloud surrounds us. Every device we use in our homes, in our cars, everything talks to the cloud. And it's considered the most transformative innovation of the decade. So it's crazy. Everything is going to the cloud. And if you think about, if you are old enough and you lived in the late 90s where the dot-com boom happened, what was the dot-com boom? Everybody had a company. You had a supermarket, you had a shopping, but you didn't have an online presence. You didn't have your www. And then if you were a company that knew how to do HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then you are a millionaire. So cloud is considered now the most big transformation of the decade. I consider cloud one of the next dot-com booms about to happen. And 50% of the companies, they are moving to the cloud. So if you have an internal financial administration system, anything that you run internal in your company that is not on the cloud, and you think, I can't be on the cloud because I'm too secret. But many, many companies are going to the cloud. 50% is already there, and it's growing. It's going to grow radically the next years. And Forrester predicts that the market in 2018 is going to be $178 billion. It's 22% more than 2017. So it's a big business. If you're not thinking about cloud, you will think at some point in your career or in a company, okay? So to show how our clients are very divided, this is a graph based on Dora that it shows that 40% of the clients, they don't have a strategy for cloud yet. And actually, they have multiple clouds. So they use pieces in Amazon, they use pieces in Azure or Google Cloud or DigitalOcean, anything. So they are still in the youth years trying to figure out their personality of the cloud or whatever they want. So it's things that we need to change. We want our clients to improve on that instead of spending lots of money trying things differently. The second one is data. Data is growing a lot. The data is stored online is huge. And it's going to be 45 times bigger in 2020. 45,000 bigger is a lot. Who's going to maintain this data? Who's going to back up this data? Our number of IT employees in the market will grow only 40%. How it will keep up with 45 times bigger data online? It doesn't make sense. So we have to be smarter. We have to build solutions that automate all this. 2/3 of organizations, they have a way to manage their data. They have a way, spreadsheets or Google Drive or any database, anything they have. But only 22% of them really uses it. They kind of use a little bit, but they don't know how to use a lot. And then they try to improve the processes, but they don't know how. And the DXP Cloud is here to help you to solve that. And finally, security. Security is our main goal for the DXP Cloud. We want to make this product very secure for you. And recently, all that scandals like Facebook, big companies like Equifax, leaking social security numbers, emails, private information from users, all that things. How can we help you as a customer to not be one of these companies? And then cloud is accelerating a lot the enterprises. So if you are not paying attention, just watch the cloud because it's going to happen for you at some point. And when you talk about cloud, you don't talk about buying servers online, buying the cheapest servers. What is the best cloud? Is the cheapest hardware, the cheapest memory? No, that's not about it anymore. Cloud is about services. It's about making your solution ready in a fast way. And the DXP Cloud is here to help you with that. So let's give an example. Imagine you are building this website. You are a customer, you use Liferay, you want to build this portal. I have menus, I have data, I have my images, document library, all that. We have few challenges, right? Jorge made a good preview about that yesterday. And when you want to build a website, what you think about? You have to think about what operational system I'm going to host before even start. You have to have a strategy to deploy that. Because even for development, you have to deploy to try it out. You have to figure out the servers. It's like a VM or it's a bare metal server. Where I'm going to host it? DigitalOcean, Amazon, Google Cloud, Azure, OpenShift. I don't know, so many options. Network, what's the throughput? What's the throughput of my network? How many data I need? How many bandwidth I need? It's very complicated to define all that. Security, how to provision my SSL certificates? How do I renew it? Is that a SAN certificate or just a regular wildcard certificate? How do I encrypt my communication? How do I encrypt my backups? So there are a lot of things that you have to think about. It's not very trivial. And finally, monitoring. If you don't monitor your application, you don't know what's going on. You are going to sleep and think, okay, maybe my website is online. And then when you wake up, you will take a look and see if it's true or not. You have to monitor. And if you have performance issues, you have to fix the performance issues. And we put all that together for you in the DXP Cloud. So as a customer, you can focus in the solution. And then imagine now you have all defined with your IT. Every web server is ready, servers are ready, VMs are ready, deployment are good to go. But then now you have, okay, how do I cluster Liferay? How do I configure the load balancer of Liferay to do stick sessions? But what if I have out scaling? How do my new instance is going to be routed in my load balancer? It's not a easy question to solve. It's tricky. How to install? How do you monitor Liferay? How do you scale Liferay? How do you backup document library in the database? So there are so many variables that you don't think about. And those are very important for you to be ready when you do a project. And then after you answer all these questions, then you are good to start developing your website. But there is one more problem. How your developers are going to be productive, how they are going to deploy the change, the code that they are working on to that environment. How? It's not easy. The developer suffers. I'm pretty sure many of you already copy a jar and pasted in the deploy folder online in the server. That's because we didn't have a very well-defined developer lifecycle. And with the DXP Cloud, we also offer you that. I will show you a little bit how it is. And one of our goals is to improve in your company the software development, the software deployment, and the software operation. And this is an interesting thing to think about, because if you want to increase the lead time, you have to deploy more frequent, because if you fail, you can fail faster. You can react faster to the failure, and then you can have more availability. And availability is what makes your company, your website, your cloud to be reliable. And then in the day one, if you use the DXP Cloud, you don't need to think about any of this. You just deploy your portal, your portlet, and it's going to be running for you with all that already pre-set up. Focus on what matters, deliver with confidence, and evolve faster. That's our 3 main pillars that we want to have you using us because of this. Let's take a look in the product. When you go to the DXP Cloud, it's a very simple UI. We basically want to keep it simple to not pollute your view, but you see your projects. Imagine you have this AICPA project, You can notice there are two environments here, infra and PRD, production. You can name the way you want, the way you like better. But then you can see on that you have the name of the project, you have the environment, and if you put your mouse on top of these little circles, they are the service, database, Elasticsearch, DXP Cloud, load balancer already preset. You can have teams on that. So let's take a deep look in each of these features. Storage first. What are we offering you for database, for storing your backups and your data? So when you see your project running, you will see like all the status of the services and everything. But imagine this is a Liferay running and you wanted to do a backup. So we have a feature called backups that is tailored for DXP. When you click this button, we are going to backup the document library, the database, encrypt both of them, and replicate in different regions. And this is a matter of minutes. And if you want to bring it back, you can as well. You can restore that information. When we store the information, we have this replicated at the moment in 2 different regions, so your backup is safe. You will never lose your data. And also, we encrypt those backups, so there is no risk if someone gets those backups, they will see your content. So this is already preset for you on the DXP Cloud. If you want to restore, you can just click in the menu, restore any point in time, select the environment in production, for example. There is a bug or something else broken in my data. You can just go back in time. We also have the periodical scheduled backups. You don't need to click a button. It happens every few hours, depending on your project. So this is really nice because it helps you to not think about data, not be worried about losing your data, your backup, not replicating anything, and not thinking about how to store this on the cloud. The second one is networking. Networking is very tricky. I have seen so many things in these past 10 years of Liferay that people deploy development, production, UAT into the same private network. And it's very easy to make mistakes because you can connect to the database of production, delete data, you can accidentally do something wrong because you are in the same network. In DXP Cloud, we solved that. When you create an environment, every environment is a different physical private network. They are isolated. So your Liferay, your Elasticsearch, anything that you run, they don't talk to the other environment. And if you try to, it's going to fail because they are different. So we protect you on that. In front of your environment, we have a load balancer that we protect you against denial of service, DDoS attacks. We protect you against flooding and many other things that if you deploy yourself, you may forget to handle. And for every environment, we also have a secondary load balancer that handles all the auto-scaling for Liferay, the stick sessions, and the auto-configuration when your Liferay needs new instances. So this is already there. And imagine now you have your development environment, and you want to connect with your local company. So let's say it's on the cloud, and you have a LDAP server running on your company in another city. You can just enable VPN. We support OpenVPN or any SSL-based VPNs. You just configure your credentials, your IP, and then you have a tunnel from your environment to your company. And then you can connect to any port on your local network, which is really powerful because you basically connect your local network to the DXP Cloud network. So this is really handy when you want to do things like single sign-on or LDAP integration or things like that, or even accessing your database. Okay, availability. Availability is critical. We have a 24/7 monitoring team that it's in different time zones, watching the infrastructure all the time. And we can make it cheaper for you because it's shared. If you as a client has maybe 8 websites, you have to hire this team, pay the full time of this team to do it. We already have that set up, and we share this team to the entire platform. So then you don't need to pay that yourself. It's included. And we are targeting a SLA of 99.95%, which gives us 0.05% of error budget. We can have the 0.05% to improve the product, to improve the experience you have, and then to make sure we are evolving as well. We have alerts, which is my favorite feature, because I have seen some situations that we had our Liferay failing periodically, and we didn't know what was going on. But then we realized it was memory. Memory was too low. But with the alerts feature, you don't need to worry about, because we have in the dashboard a feature called alerts that informs like your Liferay is 90% of the allocated memory or CPU, or even healthy. It's unhealthy or it's healthy. It's up or down. it emails you, and also sends an email to the entire team, so then you can check if you are on the way, what's going on your server, you can pull your computer and fix the problem. Metrics. Once you see the alert, let's say 90% of memory, and you click, you can see real-time graphs showing the status of your Liferay instance, your database instance, anything. And then this helps you to debug problems. It's surprisingly helpful how to analyze this data can lead you to the problem you are having online. And finally, outscaling. Outscaling is a feature that we wanted to have in the first version because it's really useful. It works very simple. Let's say you have this Liferay with memory going on, and then you can enable or disable outscaling depending on your project. And when you enable that, you can go up to 10 instances in Liferay, and you don't need to worry about licensing. We have a flex license model that once we launch new auto-scaling instances, we charge you per hour for the license, which is very similar to the price of the existing license prorated to the period it was online. And you can disable anytime. And this is very helpful because all the routing, stick session, things like that, you don't need to worry about anymore. Security. Security is the pillar of our foundations. We want to be secure. And because of that, we spent the past 3 to 4 months working with auditors. So we invited some auditors to be able to analyze what we were doing to see if we were fine. And we put together a lot of things. We put together information security plans, policies, change management policies, disaster recovery, vendor management, incident response, risk mitigation, and it keeps going. It's like more than 250 things. We basically had to spend the last few months working on that, and I'm glad to announce that we are SOC 2 certified now. So it gives security to our clients to come and to trust on our platform. And next year, we are going to start working on ISO and probably FedRAMP, HIPAA, and anything that is needed to make our clients happy. And when you do an environment, collaboration is really important. You cannot get all the same developers that deploy to development environment to deploy to production environment. So we have a feature that you can, per environment, select different people. So you can say, okay, the development environment, I have Johnny, Vitor, and Zeno, but I can delete them, or I can change environments. I can go to different environments and add different people. So for example, in production, I have only Zeno. So that's a feature you have because we know we have different teams and different groups per environment. So that's something else we offer inside the product. So those people can deploy to the environment, they can do different things, and that's why we have team roles, to make them have different permissions. So for example, we can put people as administrators, contributors, or guests. If you are inviting a guest, they can only read, they can only see the data. They don't deploy, they don't delete, they don't do anything. If you put the person as contributor, they can deploy, but they cannot delete. So there are many roles that we are going to share with you later in the documentation, but it gives you granularity to perform whatever you need by your team. And the last one, activity. This also is really nice because we can understand what happened over time. So if you go to the activities menu, you can see who deployed, what they did over time, and there are many things that you can also visualize by that. And automation, which is our software development lifecycle proposal to you, if you don't have one, it's very good because we built that based on our experiences in global services in Liferay. The team, the consultants in Liferay, they do that for a long time. And we talk to them, we interview them, and we learn with them how to make automated features that helps you. And as a developer, one of our main powerful things are automation. And that's why we would like to make everything automated for you, to deploy and release. So how does that work? When you code your project, when you are coding your portlet, after that you commit your code, probably, I hope. And if you commit your code, you have to, after that, build everything, release everything. And with the DXP Cloud, you have already a predefined GitHub account for you that we transfer to your organization when it's ready. You can choose not to use that, but we recommend you to use this flow because it helps you. And in this repository, we have different branches. And those branches, when you push, so for example, if you push some commit, we give you a Jenkins behind the scenes that builds your code, tests your code, analyzes the quality of your code. When it's okay, then it's injected into the DXP Cloud. For example, in this screen, you see 2 builds, one for production and one for infra. So you're basically playing around in different branches, and it appears there. And you have all these different environments that you can basically create yourself, name yourself, and have branches to each of those. And this helps you to push code, and magically the build will be available for you to, at any time, release, deploy to any environment. So I will show a little bit more about this. And finally, database. Database is the feature that I showed you before, the backups. But one very nice feature is once you have a different environment, so for example, this is a production environment. You can see on the top of the screen. You can get this backup of the database at any time and copy to another environment. So for example, I'm getting production data and putting on development data. And in a matter of minutes, your development will have the same web content, the same document library from production. And then you can test everything. And finally, build deployment. Once you push your code to the build, they appear there. Like here, this example, we have production, dev, and everything. If you click in the drop-down menu on the right side, you'll see that you can visualize all the things it's going to be next. It's going to promote one thing from one environment to the other. So in this case, we are adding UAT environment, empty, nothing's there. But if you go to builds, you can select any of those builds, for example, development, and then I'm going to deploy this build to UAT. So then when it happens, all the services, all the Liferay, all the databases are going to be copied to UAT. So then basically you have a copy of your environment, very easy, running with a different URL, protected by a private network, and you can even get the data from any other environment copy to UAT, because right now it's empty. It's only Liferay services running empty. So that's pretty handy to deploy development. Think about that, how long it takes for you right now to do that. You have to talk to IT, to provision new VMs, to ask them to deploy, to make sure it works, to generate a URL, to point to that. It's a lot of work, and you can do that in seconds here. It will improve a lot your developer experience. And that's why we built that. We built DXP Cloud based on best practice, based on what we learned in the past years. And then we also observed how can we make Liferay development easier. So everybody's familiar with the deploy folder, with the hotfix, configs, licenses, property files. So it's very easy to extend your Liferay in the cloud. It's just a matter of like pushing in your folder or branch a folder like deploy, config, hotfixes with your jar, with your hotfix, with your license, with anything you want, and it's going to be deployed in the best way as possible to your running application or environment. And you can also extend your property files. It's very easy. So again, many, many years of experience we are trying to put together in this product. We want your feedback. We want you to use it, to let us know how do you like it, what can we improve. And there are many, many things that I will not have time to list here in this talk, but you can go to our website and take a look. But the list goes on and on. So there are many things that we are offering. And let's talk about subscription. So many of you may ask, okay, how much that cost, or how can I use that? What's included? So basically, when you buy DXP already, you buy subscriptions. You buy 2 licenses, 3 licenses, 2 developer licenses. And this doesn't change too much. You continue doing that. The difference here is that when you buy DXP Cloud, you already get the Liferay DXP subscriptions included, and the flex license ability to have outscaling licenses. We offer you 24/7 monitoring, support with enterprise SLAs, and you get a Dynatrace. If you don't know Dynatrace, Dynatrace is a tool that monitors your application. It can give you thread dumps, information about your Java and everything. So it's included. So you have a link into the DXP Cloud that if you click, you're going to be forwarded to the Dynatrace Cloud with your Liferay already there, already set up for you. And pricing-wise, contact sales, contact any person that you know in Liferay, or talk to us at the booth, and we can give you more information. But that's pretty much what we want to offer today here, is those 4 things in the subscription. We launched this product in October 9th, like a few weeks ago. And go to our website, take a look, read it, ask questions. We have a booth here, so just feel free to come and ask anything you want. And if you are a customer interested in using it, request your demo. We can set up an environment for you that you can play around, you can deploy, you can develop, and then you can feel if it's good or not for you. And if you like it, we move forward and you purchase that. But for now, we are giving all the support you need to make sure you like the product, you give feedback. Okay, so that's what my message today is like. Think about cloud. Don't forget about your company at some point in the future will be at the cloud, and take a look and see, I'm actually focusing the right things. Am I focused too much in infrastructure, or I'm focusing my customer expectations? So that's something to keep in mind, and thank you very much to be here today. And if you have any questions, I'll be available. Thank you, guys.